The great Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, Israeli Prime Minister, he was on Fox yesterday with Sean Hannity, and they discussed Donald J. Trump's Gaza plan. Let's hear what he has to say about Trump's plan.
Netanyahu is with us. Mr. Prime Minister, great to have you back, sir.
Good to be with you.
First, once again, my condolences after all your country has been through. The equivalent of 40,000 dead Americans a day in a single day, and murder and rape and kidnapping and torture and beheading, and now, you know, a 4, 5, 6, 7 front war. It's been rough for Israel. How's the country holding up?
Well, it's holding up remarkably because of the spirit of our people and the indomitable courage of our soldiers and the resolution of our government to roll back this tide of terror, this murderous mass, hit Hamas and hit the Iran axis that sponsors Hamas, Hezbollah, the Houthis, and is committed to destroy Israel. They thought we were just going to fold. And a year and some later, they're folding. And we're going to continue until we achieve victory over our enemies that are your enemies, because these people chant death to America, death to Israel. You're the great Satan, we're the small Satan, but we're standing in their way. Well, we're defeating them, and our victory is your victory.
You stood with America after 9/11 on this program, on with me many, many times. I'll never forget it. Yesterday was historic, and you actually used the phrase that Donald Trump is the greatest friend Israel's ever had in the White House. Explain.
It's that simple. He's the greatest friend Israel ever had in the White House. You know, in his first term, he recognized Jerusalem as our capital and moved the American embassy there, recognized our sovereignty over the Golan Heights, got out of the disastrous Iran deal, brokered, and we worked together on this, the historic Abraham Accords that brought peace to Israel and 4 Arab states. You want more? I mean, that's a lot. And look what he's done in the last few days. I mean, he's done remarkable things. He's released the ammunition that we need to continue and our march to victory. He's taken action against UNRWA and these other UN agencies that hate America and hate Israel. He's done enormous things. Yes, he's the greatest friend that Israel has ever had in the White House.
You said that you believe peace between Israel and Saudi Arabia is not only feasible, you think it's going to happen. And President Trump, I'll juxtapose that with what he said about Gaza and how Gaza has been basically turned into rubble. And, you know, he talked about that America would go in, dismantle the dangerous unexploded bombs, level the site, rid the site of destroyed buildings, and create an economic development that would simply supply unlimited jobs, housing for people in the area, and really make it a place worth living in. Is that anything you expected, and do you share that belief? And what do you make of American media taking that? He's taking over Gaza. He sounds like he's rebuilding Gaza to me.
Yeah, well, I don't think he talked about sending U.S. troops to complete the job of destroying Hamas. That's our commitment. That's our job, and we're absolutely committed to it. And I also don't think he said that he's going to fund it. He said that neighboring states, wealthy states, would do it. But the actual idea of allowing first Gazans who want to leave, I mean, what's wrong with that? They can leave, they can then come back, they can relocate and come back, but you have to rebuild Gaza. If you want to rebuild Gaza, you can't have, this is the first good idea that I've heard. It's a remarkable idea. And I think it should be really pursued, examined, pursued, and done, because I think it will create a different future for everyone.
2 things the president said yesterday. One is that we have to ensure Hamas is eliminated and restore peace to that area. And the second thing he said is Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. You are the first leader of a state. You're the first prime minister, you're the first president to come visit the White House in his second term. Between the reports that I read, even in the New York Times and elsewhere, and my sources, we keep hearing that Iran is very close to nuclear capability. I don't have the intelligence you have. I don't know what our country's intelligence has, but all indications are they want a nuclear weapon. Am I leaning into something that I shouldn't lead into? Was this a sort of an emergency meeting about the state of Iran?
Well, there's no question Iran is gearing up to get nuclear weapons. They probably would have been there 10 years ago already if we hadn't taken various actions to hold them up. We held them up, we slowed them down, but we haven't stopped them completely. So yes, they're seeking to do that. And of course we discussed this, and the president said something very simple, which I said as well. Iran must not be allowed to have nuclear weapons. You know, it's that simple, and it's just about all I can say about it. Iran should not have nuclear weapons.
Well, they can have nuclear weapons. I would think, you know, the president talking about other countries in the region, Egypt, Jordan, the Saudis, the Emirates, I would think it's in their best interest to help resolve the issues in Gaza and Hamas and Lebanon and Hezbollah and Islamic Jihad and the Houthi rebels. I think it's in everyone's best interest. But I think they all would unite against an Iran. They would fight against Iranian hegemony and power with a nuclear weapon. I would think they all want that.
Well, I think it's common knowledge that most of the Arab countries have shifted from seeing Israel as their great enemy to seeing Iran as their great enemy. They don't often say it, they often hide it, but they recognize that Israel is the one country in the Middle East that fought Iran. We fight Iran. Iran openly declares its goal to destroy us. We didn't seek that conflict, they seek it. They openly say that they will wipe out the Jewish state, and they openly say that their goal is not merely the Jewish state, but to conquer the Middle East and go beyond that. And also blackmail the United States with nuclear weapons. So in resisting this and taking action against this, we're not only doing it for our own survival, but again, for the interests of many countries in the region, the U.S. interest as well. I think the interest of peace in the world. You don't want a world in which the Ayatollahs have nuclear weapons and the means to deliver them. That's not going to produce peace. That's going to produce the most horrible of wars. It has to be stopped.
Do you believe, and you were pretty confident, that all the hostages that are alive will be returned? You are confident of that?
Well, it's first of all a goal that we set. We set 3 goals vis-a-vis Gaza. 1, destroy Hamas's military and governing capabilities. 2, release all the hostages. And 3, ensure that Gaza does not pose a threat to Israel anymore. And we're committed to achieving all 3. So far, we've decimated most of Hamas's military power, not all, there's some left, and we'll make sure that it's not there when this war ends, and it could end very quickly. Second, we've released so far about 70%, more than that actually, of the live hostages, which nobody believed we would do. And we're committed to getting everyone out, both the living hostages and unfortunately also the dead hostages, which Hamas also keeps. They're that cruel, they're so monstrous. They actually keep bodies as hostages too. It's just incredible. So yes, we intend to commit to do that. I won't talk here how we intend to do it, but it's something that is in my mind. It's also on the president's mind. We don't leave it.
My last question to you, back to Donald Trump. When Donald Trump, before he got into office and he said, all hell will break loose in the region if those hostages are not released, how important were those words, in your view, to getting this deal done to get the hostages back?
I think he used his influence, which is global. I think he used it with great effect to help us complete this release. And I'm sure that working together we'll achieve great things. We intend to, we're changing the Middle East. Israel has already done so in the last year. We've really changed the Middle East. It was basically an Iranian pond. They can do anything in it. And we, in many ways, single-handedly, but with some American air defense support, which I appreciate. And some other help that I appreciate as well. But Trump's entry into the White House gives enormous, I say, backing to those who wish to see Iran's aggression rolled back Iran never having a nuclear weapon, and that affects the entire region. It elevates the spirit of Israelis. It elevates the spirit of all those who want to see a different Middle East, a prosperous and peaceful Middle East. I think it changes the global equation. It definitely changes the equation in the Middle East.
I think you got to take away their money. That would mean take out their refineries and take out their nuclear sites. And, you know, that will prevent a potential modern day Holocaust, which we cannot ever have happen. Mr. Prime Minister, we appreciate your time. Thank you, sir.
All right, so that was Netanyahu on Fox News. A little bit of a softball interview there, because Sean Hannity is a big fan of Prime Minister Netanyahu. I think that he, again, you know, why wouldn't he love Trump's plan? He doesn't want to deal with Gaza. I mean, maybe some of his Israeli right-wing ministers want to take over, but to have the U.S. go in, rebuild it, and then Israelis can still go, becomes this international sort of place. You know, I don't think all the details are finalized. To be honest, though, I think most people look at Trump's plan as a sort of, okay, let's get back to sanity. Okay, I'm going to propose this plan. All the Arab nations, you guys now have a chance to reject it and come up with your own. If you don't come up with your own, I'm going ahead with this. So it's sort of a threat. Like, you don't do this, this is what's going to happen. It's, you know, talking past the sale and basically giving yourself more leverage in a negotiation. For more, you can subscribe to this channel. If you want to help us make more of these videos, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/JewishUncensored. Thank you and have a good one.